My friends, weddings are fun. Everybody loves a wedding. And brides sometimes do the silliest things on their wedding day. You know, like covering up a murder of a child. You gotta love weddings. That's right. Welcome to Real Truth. I am Howard Riell. And yeah, brides sometimes act silly on their wedding days. And here's a case in point from the Daily Caller. An Islamic State bride unwittingly revealed the murder of a 5-year-old girl to the German security services man who posed as her driver, prosecutors say. Turkish authorities deported the 27-year-old German woman, identified as Jennifer W. because of German privacy laws, sent her to Germany in 2016, according to an indictment. She was looking for a ride back to Turkey and found a man who offered to drive her the entire way, the New York Times reported Tuesday. Unquote. So she was getting married, and she was excited, and she was blabbing and running off at the mouth, and she happened to reveal that she knew about the murder of a 5-year-old girl. So the question comes up again. It's a question I've asked time and time again on this show. What's the difference between Muslims in Germany, in this case, and Muslims here in Colorado or New York or California or anywhere in the United States? How come the Muslims over there in Europe are murderers and terrorists, and how come here they aren't? Well, very easy answer, very simple answer. There is no difference between Muslims there and Muslims here. They read the same holy book, the Quran. They can have the same beliefs. They can have the same leaders. They can read the same terrorist propaganda. And they can plot hideous murders. Now, Japan is leading the way in the world. I talked about this last week. In keeping its foot on the necks of Muslims. China is also dealing with its Muslims in the only way they can be dealt with, which is with strength. Here in America, we're not as smart as the Japanese and the Chinese. We still figure everyone will sit down, we'll have coffee and cake, we'll put our arms, link arms, and sing Kumbaya. Not going to work. Never worked. Won't work. We need to get as smart as China and Japan. Otherwise, we're liable to hear something weird at a wedding that we're attending. Item. From the Daily Caller, the Supreme Court seems poised for a forceful shift on the death penalty after a recent 5-4 decision unexpectedly signaled an important change to the justice's approach to capital punishment and the Eighth Amendment. Though it's too premature to make definitive statements about the court's direction, the April 1 decision in Bucklew versus Presseth suggests the newly entrenched conservative majority may well be the most execution-friendly bench in decades. Unquote. My friends, I am relieved to hear it. I think that the death penalty has been used far too sparingly in this country. I know there are people who will wet their pants at the idea of a murderer being executed. Well, you go ahead and wet your pants, but shut your mouth at the same time. This incarceration system that we have is ludicrous. Someone can be given the death penalty and then spend the next 3 or 4 decades on death row. It's insane. It defeats the purpose of the law. And if they are on death row for 3 or 4 decades, guess who's paying for their food, for their medical care, for their housing, for their clothing, for just about everything they have? We are, because we're suckers and fools. I would also like to see the death penalty range expanded to include not only murder, but violent rape, elder abuse, child abuse, aiding and abetting terrorism, aiding and abetting illegal aliens entering the country. That's how serious countries conduct the business. America has not been serious in a long time. And now that Donald Trump, thank you, Mr. President, has put 2 rock-solid conservatives on the Supreme Court, we are moving at long last in the proper direction. Item from the Daily Caller. The Nexium scandal has resurfaced after documents showed that the father of presidential candidate and Democrat New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand lobbied for 4 months back in 2004 for the group, which has been described as a sex cult, according to a report. The organization was founded as a, quote, self-help group before ceasing operations last year after high-ranking members of the group were arrested on charges of sex trafficking and forced labor, unquote. My friends, New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand wants to be president. That's how dense she is. She thinks she has a chance. She thinks she could do anything good for this country. Well, according to what I'm reading here in the Daily Caller, her father, Kirsten Gillibrand's father, according to court documents, lobbied on behalf of this NXIVM cult, this sex cult. This is the one where they're branding women. Kirsten Gillibrand. Hey, that's a coincidence, isn't it? Kirsten Gillibrand. I'm allowed to chuckle once in a while, aren't I? Kirsten Gillibrand. Item from InfoWars. President Trump responded to Attorney General William Barr's assertion that the Obama administration spied on his 2016 presidential campaign, claiming it was part of, quote, an attempted coup. The president said, quote, this was an attempted coup. This was an attempted takedown of a president, and we beat them. We beat them. So the Mueller report, when they talk about obstruction, we fight back. Stop! And that's the difference between a Donald Trump and all the other bozos who've been president. They are career hack politicians. They wilt like week-old flowers. Trump doesn't wilt. He fights. He fights. And he's fighting on our behalf. Item from InfoWars. A Houston woman was literally shaking when she came across a group of people holding a sign reading, quote, it's okay to be white, unquote. My friends, I believe it's okay to be any race. It's okay to be every race. But where do you go from there? What if that's your starting point, what are you going to do with your life? Race should be completely immaterial by 2019. But the fact that a woman in Houston would see a sign, it's okay to be what? 5 words, and melt down, begin to shake and cry at the very idea of the sign, that worries me. What the hell have we created but a generation, maybe even by now 2 generations, of absolute snowflakes who cannot handle anything unpleasant and shatter like a crystal vase? Those aren't the kind of Americans I remember my whole life. They're a new kind of Americans, and they cannot be counted on to stand up and defend anything. They're pathetic excuses for human beings. And they are turning them out by the tens of thousands on college campuses. Let's take a break. I'll be back with some stuff that's going to make your head spin. This is Real Truth.
Staring out the window, daydreaming about spring, your lush green yard and backyard barbecues? Well, don't blink. Before you know it, you'll be knee-high in grass. Don't let the HOA come pounding on your door. Don't be that guy. Call Turf Tamers Landscaping at 970-460-TURF or visit our website at turftamerslandscaping.com. We will get your yard in tip-top shape. Specializing in maintenance and install of commercial and residential properties, we pride ourselves in our clean-cut and approachable crew who work efficiently and quickly detailing your property. Visit our website at turftamerslandscaping.com. Our install crew can transform your backyard into the outdoor living space you've always dreamed of. Call me, Brian, at 970-460-TURF for a free walkthrough and estimate where we can meet and discuss the best options for your landscaping needs. Family-owned and locally operated, we've been serving Northern Colorado for over 18 years. Thank you for your support and supporting KHSC.
Before hiring a realtor from a big corporation who outsources their jobs and pays little to no taxes, ask yourself, what do you really want in a realtor? You need a realtor who is honest, has integrity, a realtor who is focused on the client's bottom line, not the realtor's bottom line, who provides personable, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham & Associates, LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first-time home buyer, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to move up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you.
All right, guys, welcome back. Howard Real Truth. Call the number 877-254-7524. The book, Real Truth, Stay Angry, available. Virtualbookworm.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon.com, just about any .com you like. We're very accommodating here at Real Truth. Ann Coulter was being interviewed by, who is it, Howie Carr? I think it was Howie Carr. A couple of days ago talking about Homeland Security, Kirstjen Nielsen quitting as the head of Homeland Security. I just saw Donald Trump on TV a little while ago. He's in Texas talking to a whole bunch of people with houses on the Texas border who are finding corpses on their land. People who were ferried to the middle of the desert by these coyotes, dropped off, they walked until they dropped dead. So all the liberals out there who think they're being righteous, who think that by opposing the wall they're doing something good, they cannot be more ignorant. If there were a wall, people would know they ain't never getting into this country. They would not start out that trek across the desert, and they wouldn't be found rotting in the desert. Well, there's a humanitarian crisis out there, believe me. There's a national security crisis, and there's a humanitarian crisis, and the Democrats are keeping America from solving both of them. Ann Coulter.
We have Ann Coulter with us, the best-selling New York Times author, and I'll just get your reaction to the firing of the Secretary of Homeland Security. I'm going to guess that you're not displeased with the news.
No, I'm not, though I am anticipating, and perhaps I hope I'm wrong, that he will not be putting anyone any better in the position. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But, you know, if he keeps hiring idiots who don't support his agenda, nothing's going to get done. And we're going to keep hearing these idiot panels on CNN and MSNBC acting like Kirstjen Nielsen was some kind of hardliner and she's breaking the law and he was ordering her to break the law. I love how liberals are suddenly so interested in not breaking the law. Could we apply that to our immigration laws? Or people breaking illegally into the country? I mean, it is not illegal to enforce the law. It is precisely that Trump campaigned on and his supporters wanted him to do. Please keep the laws on immigration. They are not being enforced. But the only guy who can do it is Chris Kobach, Mr. Harvard, Yale, Oxford, elegant person. The idea that he would have any trouble getting through the Senate is complete nonsense. He's not a wild-eyed yahoo. He's just someone who's smart.
Oh, come on, Ann, don't you think Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins are looking for an excuse to, engage in some virtue signaling yet again by voting against your guy?
Collins, no, not at all. Murkowski is a moron. Yes, she'll vote against, anyone. She surely did not vote for Trump, for example. So, so what? She's like another John McCain here. Trying to persuade stupid people is not my forte. Susan Collins, on the other hand, I always thought she would, and she did. She voted for Brett Kavanaugh. Just because Chris Kobach is a patriot and loves his country does not make him extreme or a hater. No, he's an incredibly elegant person. He's well-spoken, he's soft-spoken. Again, he went to Harvard and Yale and Oxford, not as some cheesy Rhodes scholar, but as a Marshall scholar. That is just the kind of person. Look, we have to get, you asked me, can he be confirmed? That's what I'm talking about here, Pally. It has to get through the United States Senate. The United States Senate is made up of mostly millionaires, people who either went to good schools or act like they did. Someone like Susan Collins, and I don't say this disparagingly, I'm just describing the strategy here. Someone like Susan Collins, Jeff Flake, they are not going to treat a Chris Kobach the same way they would treat, I don't know, a Holman, the guy, Holman, whatever his name is, the one who's the head of ICE, even a Tom Tancredi or a Steve King. And by the way, I like these people. I'm good on the issues. Kobach isn't that. He is not a wild-eyed yahoo. He's elegant in the same way Brett Kavanaugh is an elegant person whom both Jeff Flake and Susan Collins would be happy to invite to a dinner party with them. That's an important issue in order to save our country.
Is he elegant or is he eloquent? Yeah. Or is he both?
Well, he's both. He's very well spoken. He early on endorsed Romney for the self-deportation. He was the one who designed the self-deportation, which you may recall.
Hang on one second. This is something I've never understood, my friends. Self-deportation. All right, now when I count to 3, uno, dos, tres, I want whoever came here illegally to leave. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Anybody move? Anybody turn toward the border? No. Self-deportation was a fool's errand to begin with. Ain't going to happen. Those people went to an awful lot of trouble, maybe even an awful lot of expense, put themselves in an awful lot of danger to get here. They're not just going to turn around. Self-deportation is nonsense. And as far as this Chris Kobach being elegant, well, that's fine. If a woman wants to dance with a guy, I guess they'd like him to be elegant. I want him to be brutal on the border. I want order restored, and I don't care if people get hurt in the process. The only way to get people to leave without rounding them up would be to say to American employers, look, you will be fined $500,000 for each individual illegal alien that you have hired. You do that, bang! No more illegal aliens. Because if a company gets fined for even one, they're going to be out of business. 2, the owner of the company is going to be in debt for the rest of his life. And so without the hope of jobs here, the people from Mexico down Mexico way, they won't come here. You've turned off the spigot. That's how you do it. And the fact that that has not been done tells you exactly how deep and how wide the swamp is in Washington, D.C. You find the living crap out of employers of illegal aliens. You find them harshly enough to put them out of business, the problem goes away. Keep going, Ann. All right, my friends, look. You know I like Ann Coulter. You know she and I have had our differences because she's blaming the president loudly for something that's not his fault. But if she says the word elegant one more time, she will earn my displeasure. She keeps saying it. It must be on her mind. It must be important that this guy Chris Kobach is elegant. I couldn't care less. Last I heard, you don't get any points for elegance. Last I heard, illegals from Guatemala and Ecuador and Mexico were not turning around at the border and going home because they saw someone elegant. It's not what we need. Elegant is nice if you're at a cocktail party. What we need on the border is someone, frankly, brutal. We need someone brutal. We need some brutality there because otherwise they're simply going to overwhelm us as they have been doing. In the last month, over 100,000 people have needed to be turned away. How many people would needed to have been turned away if the first 2 or 3 people had been shot in the chest? You see, this is the kind of brainless crap that I really do not expect from Ann Coulter. You go to a website called promiseskept.com, and there is a list, and it's only a partial list, of all the dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of promises that Donald Trump made and has kept. But once Ann Coulter starts thinking about this guy Kobach and how elegant he is, she starts with the verbal diarrhea. She's saying things are just stupid. Donald Trump hasn't kept any of his promises? And have you been drinking? No president has kept as many of his promises, mind you, in only 2 years, as Donald Trump. He has been fighting to secure that border. All of Congress and all the media and half the country are against him. He's doing a heroic job. Maybe Ann Coulter feels she needs to say things that get reactions in order to sell more books. I don't know. I thought she's sold a lot of books already. She needs to stop saying things that are patently, blatantly ridiculous. Even Ann Coulter, come on.
Well, we're back to this point again, though, Ann. I mean, he's a party.
If he wants to get any of this done, well, he isn't if he hires Kobach. That's the whole point. If he hired anyone who agreed with his agenda and had any idea how to get it done.
He's got, and again, I keep coming back to the same argument, the same point. Saying Stephen Miller is in the White House, and Stephen Miller is apparently the one who put the idea in Trump's head to fire her because he was just tired of her alibi all the time for the fact that she couldn't get anything done.
All right, let's talk about Stephen Miller. Ilhan Omar, the Muslim congresswoman, says that he is a white nationalist. The undercurrent there is anti-Semitism. Ilhan Omar is a Muslim. Muslims hate Jews, and hence Stephen Miller, who's Jewish, is a white nationalist. And every white person is a racist and an Islamophobe. Stephen Miller is an amazingly, astoundingly bright guy. And he's giving Donald Trump some excellent counsel and advice. But when you listen to some of the pundits, they make him into a mesmer, a Svengali, who's controlling Donald Trump and leading him down a fanciful path. Stephen Miller's got his head on just fine, thank you, and so is the president. As for Ann Coulter, I have no idea where she's coming from these days. I have been one of her most ardent supporters, and now she just leaves me scratching my head. Maybe she was hoping for a job in the administration. I have no idea. Maybe she's ticked off over this or that. No idea. But what she's saying is just stupid. Chris Kobach is elegant. I got it. What else do you have to tell us, Ann? Anything? Okay. Well, Ann, if you're listening, and I'm sure you listen to my show, the invitation is still open. Come on, be my guest, and we will work things out. Because I believe in working things out, my friends. Oh, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. We're going to reconnoiter. We're going to look at some more news. We're going to look at some more videos. We're going to come back and we're going to fix this whole world of ours because it's the only one we've got. Go nowhere.
I'm Joe Jacobs, CEO of the Patriot Trading, and I'd like to thank all of our customers for doing business with us over the years. Because of you, we are celebrating 20 years in business. So here's to you for allowing us into your cars, offices, homes, computers, iPods, and anything else you use to tune into us, but most importantly, for doing business with us. We give you the news to disturb the comfortable at allamericangold.com. The Tinfoil Nation tunes in every day from 9 to 10 a.m. for economics with attitude, and we continue to deliver gold and silver right to your doorstep, privately, securely, timely, and most importantly, complaint-free. To learn more about gold and silver, visit us at allamericangold.com or simply call us at 800-951-0592 to place an order. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Phillips.
No one in America does what we do. Our health and nutrition profile is a free 1-hour interview with one of our counselors. We look at what you eat, what you drink, exercise, meditation, environment you work in, food you crave, your present health, your history, your family history. Everything that makes you a unique person. No one is exactly like you. Then we will suggest some food changes. Maybe you should add something to your diet. Maybe you should eliminate something from your diet. Then we suggest green herb products to supplement your diet. We usually suggest between 2 and 5 things. 60 capsules cost $17.50, but remember, you're not obligated to purchase anything. Call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372 to set your no obligation appointment.
Tax season, traffic, bills, or just plain cabin fever. Come fly fish the North Platte River with Trout Chambers Outfit. Hi, Brian Hayes with Trout Chambers Outfit, 970-460-8873, or visit our website at troutchambers.com. Servicing the whole North Platte River from North Gate Canyon to Cabin. Don't target the aggressive rainbows this spring, avoiding a very section of the river. 4 hours north of Denver and 1 hour west of town. Book a trip at troutchambers.com or call it at 970-460-8873. Very beginner friendly, approximately 8 hours on a drip boat going down to Phoenix North Platte River. Prices include in-season supplies, all beer, lunches for 2 and orders. Call about discounts for beds and children to the age of 16.
My friends, liberals will talk about, Democrats will talk about the glory days of Barack Obama. Well, you listened to the show for 8 years while Obama was president, and it was depressing as hell. Times were bad. The economy sucked. Welfare all over the place. Food stamps all over the place. Companies closing. The manufacturing sector going out of business. Thousands of factories shuttering. Weakness abroad. On and on and on and on. As a matter of fact, I don't know why Democrats are so high on Barack Obama, except for the fact that they're not very bright people. And if they were, they would realize Obama all but crippled their party. Here is, let's see, Newt Gingrich and Sean Hannity. Go.
Also tonight over the weekend, to start with.
Folks, if you want proof, final proof, ultimate proof, that the Democrats are out of their minds and absolute rat poison for this country, all the candidates for president coming from the Democrats are going to pay homage to a piece of feces like Al Sharpton, to a slime bag like Al Sharpton. If I haven't made it clear, I don't have a very high opinion about Al Sharpton. He's really dirt. And the Democrats love him. And they need him. And they pander to him. And it turns my stomach. It's reparations nonsense. I thought we'd gotten rid of it 20 years ago. It's still hanging around like an infection you never get rid of, like herpes. And by the way, as long as we're going to be stupid enough to hand out reparations, where are mine? My people were slaves 3,300 years ago in Egypt. I haven't seen a dime.
Let me ask you.
Interesting that he should use the word shot. Because if people are coming here knowingly attempting to break our laws and enter our country illegally, they should be shot. And legally, I believe you can make a strong case for it. If anyone crawls into your house, your window, without your knowledge and against your will, you can shoot them. You'll never go to jail. Well, these people are crawling into our house, the American house. This is the problem with activist judges like the Ninth Circuit Court. They rule certain ways because they feel like it, because it jives with their liberal outlook. The Ninth Circuit Court is an embarrassment. It's a disgrace. They are the adversaries of the American people. The judges on the Ninth Circuit Court are the enemies of the American people. Without them, we'd be a lot further along shoring up the problems, the gaping holes in this country. Activist judges, liberal judges, they are bones in the throat of America. That's why it's so important that Donald Trump is filling the country with conservative judges. He's filling the Supreme Court thus far with two conservative justices. If Ruth Bader Ginsburg would be nice enough to drop dead, he'd get to put another conservative justice on the Supreme Court. All right. You got me. We'll be back. More Real Truth ahead, my friends. Go nowhere.
You can buy gold just about anywhere in the world from all kinds of different deals. So why do you use the Patriot Trading Group?
20 years of service, just like that. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, just like that. Low prices, just like that. No solicitation, just like that. Buying or selling, just like that.
For all your gold and silver needs, call the Patriot Trading at 800-951-0592. Just like that.
Before hiring a realtor from a big corporation who outsources their jobs and pays little to no taxes, ask yourself, what do you really want in a realtor? You need a realtor who's honest and has integrity. A realtor who's focused on the client's bottom line, not the realtor's bottom line. Who provides personal, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham & Associates, LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first-time home buyer, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to move up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you.
Join us and don't miss a moment of the Alex Jones Show, your #1 source for real independent media. Find out what the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. InfoWars is pro-America, pro-family, pro-freedom. We are rebooting 1776. Exclusive reports, live coverage, information you won't find anywhere else. Tomorrow's news today. Stay informed by listening to KHNC 1360 AM. The Alex Jones Show on KHNC, the heart of Northern Colorado.
All right, guys, we are back. Howard Real Truth. The Democrats are grilling Attorney General William Barr in testimony on Capitol Hill. Laura Ingraham on Fox News had something to say about it. She calls it persistence versus the resistance. Let's listen in.
You're spending a few precious hours.
Nancy, schmuck. You don't represent people in Mexico. Nancy, schmuck, look at me. You represent Americans. Why are you standing up on the stage talking about how bad things are for Mexicans? You represent America, Nancy. How about doing your job, Nancy? You're only the speaker today because you can get lots and lots of money. What do we call women who make lots and lots of money? Just by glad-handing people. Nancy is an embarrassment, just like Mad Maxine Waters is an embarrassment. Not just to their party, which deserves to be embarrassed. They're embarrassments to this country and to the American people. They have such a lousy political system that zeros like this can attain the heights of power. Nancy Pelosi, don't worry, folks, she's looking out for Mexico. We'll take a break and we'll wrap it up. More Real Truth.
I'm Ryan, EMF Mitigator. You worried about 5G wireless cell towers in your area? Would you like to know if your home or office is being penetrated by electromagnetic fields from overhead power lines? What about powerful signals sent from your smart meter? EMF Mitigators can answer these questions using our state-of-the-art measuring equipment. We are in the business of measuring, locating, and reducing or eliminating man-made electromagnetic frequencies. In 2011, the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified radio frequency radiation as a Group 2B carcinogen. Other carcinogens in this group include arsenic, lead, and melamine. Take control of your exposure by calling EMF Mitigators at 970-300-3414. Mention that you heard about us on KHNC 1360, and we'll come to measure your home or office for only $99. Discover what may be affecting you in your own environment. Call EMF Mitigators today at 970-300-3414, or reach us 24 hours a day at emfmitigators.com.
Grandpa's Pawn and Gun, serving Longmont and the Front Range of Colorado since 1994. We specialize in guns and currently have over 400 guns for sale. We also buy, sell, pawn, and trade for gold, silver, musical instruments, knives, archery equipment, quads, side-by-side, coins, and a lot more. We buy gun collections and do appraisals, which is smart for insurance purposes should a claim arise. We are, according to ATF, Colorado's second highest volume gun dealer, and because we have a lot lower overhead than the big box stores, we can beat the big box stores by as much as $100 per gun. And we have the lowest interest rates in northern Colorado, half of what the corporate stores charge when you're doing a loan. Come and see us at Grandpa's Pawn and Gun. If you love guns and you love gold, come and see us. Check us out on the web, www.grandpaspawn.com or 303-772-7952. Grandpa?
All right, guys, let's finish this up. Don't forget, if you love the show and you can't stand when it ends, real simple. Get my book, Real Truth, Stay Angry. You will find it online. You will love it. Best of all, it's got my face on the cover. Item from the Daily Mail. Faisal Ahmed was suspended from his post at the Catholic school St. Thomas More in Wood Green, even though he had graduated from the Teach First program. DailyMail.com reported, quote, struggling to read and write was not enough to stop a teacher getting a job at a top secondary school, unquote. So Faisal Ahmed could not read or write. And somehow he got hired at the St. Thomas More Catholic School. How does that happen? Well, this happened in Europe. In Europe, they are pathetically liberal and accordingly stupid. And when they had a form filled out for a job by a Muslim, I guess they felt they owed it to the Muslim people to hire him, even though he couldn't read and write. Thank you, liberalism. Item from WorldNetDaily.com. The transgender agenda, which asserts society must accept the right to choose one's gender identity, could be facing its Waterloo. A trial court in Michigan will consider the argument in a lawsuit against a fitness club that allowed a male who identified as a female to use its changing facilities. Yvette Cormier sued the Planet Fitness in Lansing, Michigan, after she was expelled from the facility and her membership canceled because she complained of a man in the women's locker room. When the club refused to take action, she warned other customers. The state Supreme Court denied an appeal by the club to dismiss the case, sending it to the trial court. Represented by the Kalman Legal Group, she's arguing that the club violated the Michigan Consumer Protection Act. Her claim, quote, is based upon her encountering a biological male in the women's locker room with the permission and approval of Planet Fitness, the legal team explained. Its policy permits biologically intact men, that means they haven't hacked off their what's-us yet, to have unfettered use of the women's locker room, including showers, lockers, and all other aspects of the locker room, even if children are present. The case alleges the Planet Fitness adopted the policy and then hid it, representing, quote, to her that there were separate locker rooms, showers, and restroom facilities for men and women when, in fact, there were not. My friends, this is not the first time I've heard of this utter insanity. Letting men use the women's locker room is bad enough. Letting degenerate men use the women's locker room is just a rape and a beating waiting to happen. Oh, man. Item from Breitbart. 2 anti-speciest militant vegans have been given jail sentences for attacking and burning a series of butcher shops and restaurants in northern France. Unquote. My friends, why doesn't this item surprise me? Because vegans are always liberals, and liberals are always feelers and not thinkers. They do terrible, hideous, violent things because they feel they're entitled to. After all, they're better than we are, and if we don't understand that, well, then they have a right to beat it into us. That's why whenever you see people wreaking carnage someplace, you can bet it's going to be a liberal. Liberals out there in Antifa, liberals out there throwing eggs at Trump supporters, beating up people in red hats. Liberals are violent. Liberals need to be controlled. I don't say that lightly, but liberals need to be controlled. Otherwise, they will sink all of us. I'll be back tomorrow, no liberal eye, and we'll finish out the week here on Real Truth. Folks, stay safe, stay healthy, stay angry.